We'll continue on page 17 with a retelling of a story that comes to us from the Mishnah about the ancient rabbis telling the Passover story on the night of the Exodus. It happened once on Pesach that Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Tarfon were reclining in Bnei Brak and telling the story of the Exodus from Egypt that whole night, until their students came and said to them, "The time of reciting the morning Shema has come." Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said, "Behold, I am like a man of 70 years, and I have not merited to understand why the Exodus from Egypt should be said at night, until Ben Zoma explicated it, as it is stated, in order that you remember the days of your going out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. The days of your life indicates that the remembrance be invoked during the days. All the days of your life indicates that the remembrance be invoked also during the nights. But the sages say, the days of your life indicates that the remembrance be invoked in this world. All the days of your life indicates the remembrance be invoked also in the world to come. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Blessed is the Holy One. Blessed is God. Blessed is the one who gave the Torah to God's people Israel. Blessed is God. And now we tell the story of the 4 children. Corresponding, we are told to the 4 sons of Rabbi Akiva, the 4 sons who each approach Torah in its own way, each who approach learning in its own way. Anyone who's a teacher can tell you that this next part of the Haggadah speaks volumes, that as we tell the story each year to our family, to our friends, and especially to our children, we need to make sure that we are telling the story of the Exodus from Egypt and teaching the story to subsequent generations in ways that they will each understand it, each in their own way. Corresponding to 4 children does the Torah speak. It says one is wise, one is wicked, one is simple, and one doesn't know how to ask. What does the wise child say? What are these testimonies, statutes, and judgments that Adonai our God commanded to you? And accordingly you will say, as per the laws of the Pesach sacrifice, we may not eat an afikomen, a dessert, or other foods eaten after the meal, after we are finished eating the Pesach sacrifice, a teaching that comes to us from the Mishnah in Tractate Pesachim. What does the wicked child say? What is this worship to you? By saying to you and not to themselves, they have excluded themselves from the collective. They've denied a principle of the Jewish faith, and accordingly you will blunt their teeth and say to them, for the sake of this did Adonai do this for me in my going out from Egypt. For me and not for them. If they had been there, they would not have been saved. What does the simple child say? Ma, what is this? And you will say to him, with the strength of God's hand did Adonai take us out from Egypt, from the house of slaves. And regarding the one who does not know how to ask, you will open the conversation, as it is stated, and you will speak to your child on that day, saying, for the sake of this did Adonai do this for me in my going out from Egypt. And we tell the story of our ancestors on page 21 by saying, Arami Oved Avi, V'yered Mitzrayma v'yagar Sham. Today I want to tell you, Adonai our God, how I have come to be in the land Adonai promised to our ancestors to give to us. My ancestor was a wandering Aramean. He descended to Egypt and resided there in small numbers. He became a nation, great, powerful, and numerous. Then the Egyptians treated us badly. They persecuted us and subjected us to hard labor. We cried out to Adonai, the God of our ancestors. God heard our voice. God saw our persecution, our labor, and our oppression. God took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with awesome power, signs, and wonders. Then God brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land of milk and honey. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had made a law that every boy baby of the Hebrew race should be killed, and there was a great sorrow because of it. But when Moses was born, his mother managed to hide him for 3 months. Then she made a cradle, or a little ark, and putting him into it, carried him down to a river, and hid the cradle among the reeds there. Soon after this, Pharaoh's daughter came with her maidens to the riverside. And when she saw the beautiful child, she sent one of her maidens to bring it to her. She took the little boy to the palace and named him Moses, and he became a great man among the Egyptians. He knew, however, that he belonged to the Hebrew race. And when he saw how badly his own people were treated, he tried to help them, but at last he was obliged to leave Egypt. After a time, God spoke to Moses out of a burning bush, and told him that he must go and rescue his people from the cruel Egyptians. Moses thought he could not do this, but God promised to help him, and to show him what he would be able to do with that help, God turned the rod which Moses carried into a serpent. Moses went to Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go."
When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Thus said the Lord, both Moses said, let my people go. If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead. Let my people go. Go now, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. No more shall they in bondage toil. Let my people go. Let them come out with Egypt's spoil. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh to let